This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. I am delighted to be joined on Zoom once again with Mr. Teo Alin. How are you, Teo?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm just getting flashbacks to the very first interview we ever done was on Zoom. You were
That's right. My phone died
you,
in the
you
middle
were
of it.
you were in the gym, and obviously you were it was during work, and obviously you had a sort of bit of downtime, and we'd done the interview, and I prepared it all, and was getting ready to upload it, and then you're like, "Can we do it again?" Uh,
No, man. No, I'm more confident now.
It's probably around this time last year, actually. We done
It
it too.
was it was I, Steve.
Yeah. Uh,
This my debut was August 3rd last year,
yeah.
and my next fight's on August 1st. So it is
Fifth,
close enough.
fifth fight within a year. Like I know you said that you wanted the activity and everything else like that. Like is when you're sort of looking back, I know you haven't had your fifth pro fight yet, but when you're sort of looking back, it's like everything sort of went sort of how you would have hoped it went for you.
Probably better, Steve. I was expecting about 2 to 3 fights or something a year, but 5 fights going into my fifth year. So actually better, to be honest. Far better.
It's sort of you nearly look at it sometimes and you're sort of going like sometimes it can go too well. You're sort of going like when you're seeing fight cards and stuff getting cancelled and things like that, you're sort of going, you're nearly sort of waiting for something bad
Yeah.
to sort of happen, and
Aye.
touch what it hasn't. But like
Yeah.
is that why you sort of set the bar sort of low at like 2 3 fights because you just didn't know what was going to happen and what to expect?
Aye, because I just seen a lot of fights getting cancelled and stuff, and a lot of fighters only getting out 2 to 3 times and stuff. So I wasn't setting my expectations too high.
I guess
So
when you're someone like Potty, obviously your manager, he's not paying me for saying this, but when you're someone like Potty who's been a fighter, he's been there and done it, he wants to keep you as busy as possible because
I
he needs to sort of use you in some ways to build his portfolio to show this. I'm Potty McCrory, I'm a manager of fighters, and here's what I do for my fighters. It's
Yeah, exactly. Like it's good to get managed by Potty because Potty's a fighter himself and still is a fighter, so he knows how fighters feel and what fighters want. You know what I mean? So that was good to get signed with Potty. And as well, like we both turned pro at the same age nearly. So we did. So and see how far he's gone. Hopefully I can do the same.
And I'm thinking sort of in some ways very similar in the fact that I think Potty wasn't pro a year when they had their first child. You're not even pro a year and you've a first child. Like you're fairly copying Potty, so you've another three kids.
Right, no fine.
You've another three more kids to come yet.
I more fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared after this experience.
How
It's
you
mad
settling?
what
I was
it's
going to say
mad
how
what
you
women
settling
have to
in with the
go
wee
through.
one so far.
I settling in okay, Steve. Just some sleepless nights, but the grannies have been a lot of help. They've done a lot of the night feeds and stuff. Um, don't get me wrong. There's been a few days there where I had to do them, but sure, it is what it is. It's part of it all.
You're sort of going here, take us back. This isn't mine. I want a refund, sort of thing.
No, just make the most of it because there'll be a time that you wish they were small again too. So
It's
no, just any chance they get, have to do it.
like I guess it, it's probably going to make camps and stuff harder for you, sort of as well. Like there's you sort of
Yeah.
in their sort of fight week, like you sort of nearly have to maybe take yourself to a different environment because
Uh,
kids are running about hungry. I know it's not at the stage yet; it's not going to run about, but every wee thing can sort of knock you off in fight week when you're hungry. And
I definitely Steve, but I'd be cool headed enough. Like I wouldn't let stuff get to me that wouldn't really get myself in a bad mood over it. So I think I should be grand. It's just the training with the with little sleep. Like you're going see during it. I'm grand, but it's right after the train. When the adrenaline's away and everything, you realize how tired you are. Like
and like
I go
I think
wrecked.
your job as a PT, like, is like would it be similar to what a lot of PTs are? It can be sort of like split. You give a sort of split day where you can sort of be in the morning, then have a sort of afternoon off, and then back in again in the evening again.
Yeah. That's what I do. Yeah, I usually be in most mornings 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, I'd finish at about 10 or 11. Then I won't be back in about 3 or 4. But in between that, I could be training, and then back to work, and then could be training that evening again. So it's hard, like, but with the sleepless nights, but it is what it is.
It's
You know
like,
what I mean?
being a PT, particularly being a boxer, obviously quite a lot of fighters are PTs because obviously they just get so adjusted to it. But like it's tough going. Like you think like you're splitting your day up and you're then having to go and do your own training, eating food and
Yeah.
things like that. Like it's
Uh,
a strenuous day. Like you're sort of nearly ready. You're sort of nearly glad in some ways it comes to bedtime and you're going, that's another day done. But you've quite a lot of hours done in the day.
yeah, definitely. I just people think it's a handy job, but yeah, it is good, but you still be tired from it, like, sometimes mentally, and then I be doing a lot of pad work as well. So that's like a workout itself sometimes too. You know what I mean? Then having to go train, then home, rest for a bit, back to work again, do the same, then train again. But nearly 10 o'clock by the time we get home.
Do you
Most
sort of
times.
look at it as it's like a short term sacrifice for a sort of long term sort of, I guess the dream sort of, maybe getting signed by the likes of Matchroom, Queensbury, fighting in big Riyadh cards. Like, do you sort of see this as sort of like a short term sacrifice for a long term game?
Definitely, like, nothing good comes without sacrifice. And here, if it doesn't, what odds? Like, I'm going to try my best to get something out of it, but um, I like making my family proud too. You know what I mean? That's a win in itself. Um, but at the end of the day, boxers say they want world titles and all these titles and stuff, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. You know what I mean? You wanna, even if you don't make life changing money, you still want to leave the game with a bit of money in the bank, like.
Definitely. If we get up to the realms of where Paddy is, Paddy always says he's no money, but I think he's probably the richest man in West Belfast now.
Probably. I'd love to know what he got paid for that Berlanga fight.
They not even tell you.
No, I didn't ask him.
He might go halfers way in a cup of coffee. But like fifth pro fight, obviously now on the 1st of August. I guess you sort of had that where you've boxed in the SSE. Obviously now this is now back to back sort of in the Devenish. Obviously you boxed in the Ulster Hall as well. Like second straight sixth rounder as well. Like sort of not maybe giving too much away from sort of maybe what might come after, but was always the idea to get another 6 rounds here before sort of because you're already eligible to fight for a Celtic title. But for you in your head, was it more of making sure you're ready for a Celtic title, not just to fight, but to win it?
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about a Celtic title fight for this next one, but I just wanted an R6 rounds. With the kid, with having the child and all born there, I didn't know what way preparation was going to go, so I didn't want to just jump in an 8 rounder without knowing what my preparation is going to be like. To be honest, at the minute it's going very well, but I still wanted an R6 rounds to make sure I'm fit to do the 6 before jumping in the 8, because my first 3 fights there were only 4 rounders. I'd only done 1 6, so the R6 wouldn't do any harm.
Like you're the one who's in control of your career, and I guess sometimes like even me within the media, sometimes we can not sort of understand, and you can nearly get sort of ask questions to try and push you and try and force you sort of into directions, but you're the man that's in control of your own career, and you'll do what you decide and never
Yeah,
worry about anybody else says.
exactly. Like, as Jason Quigley says in his interview there, to be a fighter, you need to be selfish. No matter what anyone says, you need to look. You're number one. You're the one going in fighting. You know how you feel yourself. So it is what it is. Like, I just didn't think I was fit for an 8 rounder next. Wanted to try 6. Don't want to be jumping the gun too soon.
Yeah, you want to be able to walk before you can run sometimes in a sport. Like it's all well and good, like fighting for a Celtic title in your fifth pro fight or whatever. But you have to think of the opposite scenario and go, what happens if I don't win? I'm not prepared properly. You want to make sure you've ticked all them boxes off before you go into it and go, right, well, now I feel ready.
Exactly. And before I was asked about that Celtic title fight, a few niggles and injuries and stuff. I didn't know what way I was going to recover, but thank God it's all looking well at the minute. So we'll get this one out of the way, and then we'll look about the title fight next, hopefully.
Like you've had, I know people will sort of maybe look at BoxRec sometimes and they see the opponents and their results and things like that, but like you've had really good tests in your first four pro fights. Most of these opponents here, they're all coming and they're not coming just to lie down. They're not there like just like a punch bag in the gym. Like, they're all coming, they're all testing in different ways. Like, you didn't want it to be any better than that. Like, if we were to say to you, Teo, would you swap your 4-0 career for four first round stoppages? You probably wouldn't want it to be another way than it's been.
No, most certainly not, Steve. As you says, they all brought a different style. So the last guy there, a few of his fights should have been wins or draws than anything.
Mm.
It was all good tests. Now I wouldn't change it, definitely not, because when you go in against somebody who is and they're the one, you'll be lost. You'll be like a lost puppy in there. Where like even at the third fight in the Ulster Hall there, your boy, it was a good experience the way he came out at me, because I didn't fall into that fight, that type of fight. I just kept calm, and just box around it. And then you're the one in the Devenish there. He's more of a boxer, very, very slippery. So it's fit to handle that well too. So no, it's good.
And like your last opponent, I obviously seen him 3 years ago in the Europa Hotel, and he fought Cian Doyle, and he sort of knocked Cian Doyle about that night. He was hitting him with left hooks, right hooks, left uppercut, right uppercut. Like, you nearly thought he was the home fighter. He just came in the script, but like if you had have been in any of these first four pro fights and not given 100%, it could have been a totally different outcome.
Exactly. Every fight's a big fight for me. No, I take nobody lightly, journeyman or not. I train as hard for every fight.
And every fight. I was going to say we're just under 5 weeks, obviously now. 5 weeks yesterday it was, but we're just under 5 weeks from fight number 5 as a pro. Like, what can we expect? Obviously, you've no opponent locked in sort of yet. There's maybe an idea as to who it's going to be, but what can we expect, obviously, out of your fifth pro fight on the 1st of August?
Just another good, slick performance. Just a win by any means necessary.
Would it be nice to get a stoppage? Like, you're not really too worried about stoppages, are you? Like, as long as you win. But...
Honestly, I don't go in thinking of stoppages. Don't get me wrong, it'd be good getting stoppages. Like, it'd be a good buzz, like, you know what I mean? But boxing comes first, and if the stoppages come, they come. Like, to be honest, I rather look good than just going in and blowing somebody away.
You're not going to ask Barry McReynolds for lending of his arms for the night, then?
Suppose that look good. Oh, fuck, Barry McReynolds is a beast. That man's an animal. People don't know. Boy's actually a very, very good boxer too. You know what I mean? He's a very, very slick boxer. He's definitely got all the tools there. He just hasn't had a chance to show it.
And like last week, obviously, he broke his hand in the first round and still fought for 3 rounds through it and showed.
It shows that, yeah, exactly. Like, that says enough too. You know what I mean? He can. He's a very, very good boxer. He's definitely got all the tools to go all the way now. So he does.
Finally, obviously, on the support, because the support's been one that we've talked about quite a lot. Like, it's stretching far and wide now. The fan base. Like, is it still sort of? Is it still to you in some ways? It's sort of, because you you don't understand sometimes, obviously, how much you're impacting people and how much it's grown. Like it seems to be someone's coming back from a fight and somebody will go, "Where were you at the weekend?" "Oh, I was up in Belfast watching Teo Alin fight." The next time around, they're coming. Like it seems to be every fight, more and more people joining this party bus. So, like,
I
I guess
know.
it'll be no problem for you in the Devenish.
I hopefully it keeps going. Like, but I still very surreal. Like I was like, as I said to you in my first and second interview, like I text party saying I'd probably sell about 50 or 60 tickets. You know what I mean? And then next thing, I just kept getting bigger and bigger each fight. You know what I mean? So no, and appreciate the sport. Without the sport, you wouldn't be getting on them shows. Probably without the sport, I wouldn't be getting 5 fights in a year as well. You know what I mean?
You'll get to
More,
that
more
stage,
likely
like
not.
you'll get to that stage because it was like for Paddy at the start, like as well. Paddy was getting the opportunities because he could sell fights, and then it got to the stage where it's even the same with Owen O'Neill. Owen O'Neill at the start was selling quite a lot of tickets, and I guess this stage we get annoyed them because people just look at you as a ticket seller rather than a quality fighter. So you're going to get to the stage you're hard to annoy, but you'll get
Mm-hmm.
to the stage where you'll go, I want to be on these fight cards for merit rather than the fact that I'm going to be bringing these an income into the fight.
Lad, Steve, to be honest, I don't really care what way people look at me, a ticket seller or a good fighter. Like, if the ticket sales will help me get onto them shows and build my record and stuff, so I actually doesn't bother me one bit. You need to sell tickets to even make a couple of quid back, so happy days.
Exactly. Like what a name for the card as well. Like, just obviously finally, obviously it's called Fresh Blood. Like all six of the fighters are on the card. Nobody will have fought for more than 12 months themselves as a pro. Like you're going into your fifth pro fight. I think is it Jack's fourth, Gary's third, David McKeaveney and Lex Weston making their debuts. Um, you've obviously cathal Jennings out for the second time. Like, you know, sorry, Jack on his fifth fight as well. Obviously, he's similar to you, made the debut in the same thing. Like, it's remarkable the fact that not one fighter in the six fights is currently on the card has fought for more than 12 months, but it shows how far Irish boxing's moving, that they're able to
Exactly.
put trust in fighters within a year of turning over.
I know it's actually mad. Like, um, but it just shows you how big Irish boxing is getting. Like how many shows are on a year. Like back 5 6 years ago, you only got that might have showed you'd be lucky if you got two in a
Mm.
year in Ireland. Like now you're getting one every couple of months. I think that's why everyone's turning over. You know what I
Is
mean? They're seeing the opportunities and stuff.
there doesn't seem to be, and I think I sort of said the Paddy in the interview when the show was announced, there doesn't seem to be a set main event. So is there like a private competition going on between you and Jack to see who can do the most tickets to top the card, or are you letting Jack have this one because you headlined the last one?
Oh, Jack can have on that one if he wants. I say as a party, put me on first. I don't care as long as I get the win. Put me on first so I can go get a pizza. But
But
no, I think Jack's headline this one. I'm not sure yet. I think it's down to who sells most tickets.
a healthy
So
competition does well, doesn't it?
aye, true.
You tell Jack you've sold 300 and he'll be out. He'll not be sleeping. He'll be out, obviously, going round the doors in Belfast to sell more.
If he wants a headline, he can be my guest. uh,
And I guess
but no, but it's always good headline to be fair. You know, you're the main guy and stuff. It's good buzz, good
And I
buzz.
guess finally, sorry, just to finish, it's 11 weeks potentially looking like it's going to be Crocker Donovan, potentially in Windsor Park. Have you had any conversations yet with Paul? Is the fact that you maybe want to slot on that card, or are you sort of
I
at this stage of sort of being on them cards?
I've been asking and talking to Potty about it. He says he's still fighting to get me on it. Nothing is set yet, but there's not a few decent shows coming up too. I hear, but not nothing set in stone yet. Um, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be a deadly sure to get on the. Be
You
some
were
experience.
You were annoyed the last time. Obviously, you're supposed to fight on the matchroom card, and obviously they then picked a different fight, and you were secretly sort of annoyed a wee bit by it. So it'd be nice to get another
You get
reward
on.
here to go my sixth pro fight, fighting a matchroom card. Like that'd be the icing on the cake for the perfect first 12 months as a pro.
Oh, that would be deadly. But I was reason to didn't get on the last one because it was a good show. Plus a mushroom card, like, cause that's what you don't know the opportunities that can come with that. You know what I mean? You just never know in boxing.
You don't. You definitely don't. But look, thanks for coming on, having a chat with me. Obviously on your Saturday, obviously when you're getting a bit of free time now before you're back to work. But
Yes.
obviously we hope the next 4 or so weeks of camp go well. We'll see obviously on fight week for your next fight on the 1st of August.
Thank you very much, Stevie. Thank you.
Not a problem, Teo. Speak to you
Um,
soon.
Thank you for your time, and hopefully all goes well. And I see you in 4 weeks' time.
See you in 4 weeks' time, definitely, Teo.
All
Cheers
right,
for
Steve.
your time. Take care.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.